partner will talk to you about today. Let's go inside. All right, I changed shirts and combed my hair so I'll be pretty for the occasion. I've got 7 verses I've marked down here on the subject of reprobate. Are you reprobate? I have come to the conclusion of late that most of the world is reprobate. In fact, it's just my opinion, but I do believe that by the time people die, they're all reprobate. You say, what is reprobate? Reprobate used 7 times refers to a state where people's hearts are hardened like Pharaoh's was, and they no longer will respond to the truth. It comes from a passage over in Jeremiah, is where it first appears, and he says, they are reprobate silver, shall men call them, because the Lord hath rejected them. So it talks about how that the silver is burnt in a furnace, the gold is melted, and the iron is taken out of it, and what is left is silver. But it was used when you got the silver out, and then you put what was left over after you took the silver out back in, heated it again, you get a little more silver out. So over a period of time, each time that you would extract the silver, you would save back that leftover, which had all kinds of rock and sand and ore and stuff in it, and you'd keep refining it 7 times. Once you had put it through the fire 7 times, there was nothing left in it. It was no silver to be gotten out. So it was thrown out as something you'd walk on. So when you reach a state of reprobacy, that means you've gone through a process of God trying to work with you, and you say no, and you eventually reach a state to where there's no response left in you, and you're thrown out. Here's a passage in 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Jesus Christ is in you, except you be reprobate. Now he's talking to the church here, to professing Christians, and he's suggesting that Christians should examine themselves and ask, am I reprobate? Have I reached a place to where I'm no longer responding to God? Reprobate. Terrible state to be in. The thing is, a person who's reprobate really doesn't know it. Then in Romans chapter 1, he speaks of reprobacy. Wherefore God gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. So one of the marks of a reprobate person is they sexually abuse their bodies, change the truth of God into a lie. What is the truth of God? He made them in the beginning, male and female, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator. So they worshiped the human body, worshiped the human spirit, worshiped the creature more than the Creator. He said, for this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. Now, what's a vile affection? That is loving something that you shouldn't love. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. You're talking about lesbians here, changing the natural use of the female body and using it against nature. Likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly. You shouldn't see it. It's not on the screen, not anywhere. And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. In other words, when the homosexuality takes place, the lesbianism takes place, the sexual perversion takes place, something happens inside the heart and soul of the person that hardens them and creates a recompense, a payment equal to their error, even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. A person who gets into these sexual deviancies and perversions will come to a place to where they want to deny the existence of God. God gave them over to a reprobate mind. So there comes a point when God just no longer can reach out and grab the sexual deviant, the sexual pervert, the sodomite. Nothing in their heart to respond, and God gives them over to a reprobate mind. Now listen, that includes preachers doing pornography. That includes deacons and laymen and youth directors who are exchanging child pornography. That includes the women who are looking at sexual perversions and stuff online. They reach a place to where they no longer respond to the truth, and it seems normal to them, and they call it love, and God says that it's unnatural love, filled with all unrighteousness and fornication. And then here's two more passages. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. Even their mind and conscience is defiled. The person who's pure in heart, sex is pure to them, marriage is pure to them, love and friendship is pure, work is pure, play is pure. Life is a state of purity, of bliss, of love. But to the defiled, he said, nothing's pure. Everything is made unclean by their defiled state, professing that they know God. In works they deny him, being abominable. It doesn't matter if they profess to know God. If their works deny him, it's an abomination. And to every good work reprobate. In other words, they reach a place where, like the silver, they've been tested and tried, and God's wooed them and called them, and they're reprobate. 2 Timothy 3:1, the last passage. You also know that in the last days perilous times shall come. Last days. I think we're there. Perilous times shall come. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. Boy, don't we live in an age when men love themselves. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, unholy, without natural affection. You know, when a man loves, sexually prefers a child or another man, it's not a natural affection. It's unnatural affection. Despisers of those that are good. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. He said they lead captive women silly, laden with sins, led away with divers lust. He's talking about the last days, the conditions will be in. Listen, the grade schools are there now in that condition. Ever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of truth. They resist the truth, men of corrupt minds, reprobate concerning the faith. Look around you. Most of the people you'll see in the United States are reprobate. You wonder why people can see truth and ignore it. Why it's not obvious to them like it is to you. It's because they are now reprobate. You wonder how a husband can look at his pornography day after day and eventually reach a place to where he says, oh, it doesn't mean anything to me. He's reached a state of reprobacy. There comes a time when they will not know God. They will not come to him that they might be forgiven. They can't see sin for what it is. They've been put in the furnace like Pharaoh. Pharaoh, God gave him 10 times, 10 experiences. On the 10th one, God judged him severely. And so, how many times have you been through? How many times have you come to repentance and then repented of your repentance? Maybe you've already reached that state of reprobacy. Please don't damage your children, your wife, or your husband, or those around you. Don't spread your vileness. Crawl off somewhere into a dark hole and just live with your reprobacy, because the day comes when you'll be taken out of this world and judged and damned. Don't damn others with you along the way. I know this has been dark and dismal. I think I'll go out and pick some more strawberries and get this stuff out of my mind, all right? See you next time.